Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
So, um, my name is Nicole Curtis, and I'm the COO of She Rises Studios. And Hannah Olivas is on the call with us today. Woo-hoo! She is the founder of She Rises Studios, as well as the Becoming an Unstoppable Woman movement and book series. And we are also joined by the co authors of the book, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. And we are on our virtual book tour this December, coming at you from all around the world to spread some holiday cheer, but also just introduce some of the amazing authors that are actually international. And so, yeah, so we're really excited to be here with you this morning. We have some really good info and just stuff to share with you. And so, with that, I'll pass it over to you, Hannah.
Well, good morning, everyone. For those of you that are awake at this time or about to head to bed, our topic today is about limitless possibilities in 2022 and the unstoppable mindset to attain those things. So, we're going to talk about that today in our live, and it all really connects with the Becoming an Unstoppable Woman movement, the book, of course. As Nicole stated, we are joined today with two of our international authors. Eileen is in the Philippines, Leslie is in Mexico, and I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, the desert. So I'm not really international. Nicole is
And I'm
in.
from Michigan in the snow.
Yeah. And so we are just ready to dive in. I would love to hear from Leslie this morning in terms of what this topic is and just hear some of your nuggets.
Hi, yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Leslie Gadet, and yes, as Hannah had said, I am coming to you from Puerto Morelos, Mexico. I am living digital nomadic lifestyle, so that's where I'm coming from you internationally from a different place than where I'm from. And so, limitless possibilities to me is a really important topic because, especially for 2022 and beyond, it's not just about for next year, it's about for the rest of your life. And how do you look at that? Part of it is for me, I talk a lot about getting into the story of your life. And what that means is the doing and the experiencing of your life, being an active participant in the good and the bad, looking for solutions rather than focusing on the obstacles, which will always be there. But having that faith and trust in yourself and believe that you can do it. And so for me, that has been probably the biggest thing for me to take away from me is my whole life has been around how can I have freedom to do the things that I love. And so time freedom was something that I was able to grasp onto and actually attain. And looks different for everyone, but that is in a nutshell a little bit what for me limitless possibilities really truly is. And so I'm going to pass the mic, and I guess if we come back to me, I would love to share some more. But thank you so much. I'm loving being a part of this, and I hope that you really tune in and listen. These ladies have some great wealth to share.
Eileen, what are your thoughts about limitless possibilities?
Good evening. It's 10 p.m. here in Manila, Philippines. I'm about to sleep wearing my pajamas underneath. For me, limitless possibilities means daring to dream. Everything we have now, the gadgets, the cell phones, didn't it start to be a dream centuries ago? Who would have thought something that small can connect people all over the world? So for me, limitless possibilities means nourishing your dream, having that dream, daring to dream, nurturing that dream. If one dream is no longer applicable to you, then dream a new dream. So for me, I want us to focus on the bigger picture. I always try to focus on the bigger picture. And as Leslie said, never on the obstacles. The obstacles are there. We will deal with them head on, face on, feet on the ground, but we won't focus on them because we have our eyes on the bigger picture. We have our dream. The dream lives on in our hearts, and one day we can make that dream a reality. So for me, that's one aspect of limitless possibilities, indeed. Thank
I
you.
love that. I love what you and Leslie said. It really is true. And I think sometimes when people think of limitless, their mind goes a whole different direction, and we put these restrictions on ourselves when really we're the one
Mhm.
person that controls and designs what we want our lives to look like. So thank you ladies both for sharing. Hi
Mhm.
Jen, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I'm
Good.
okay.
Good morning or good afternoon or good
Good
evening to
afternoon.
you.
I know we have we're well represented. We've got bedtime, lunchtime, and morning
Yes.
here today.
So, Jen, share with us what you feel are some limitless possibilities for 2022. What does that look like for you?
For me, I think limitless possibilities is all about. I think it has to do a lot with the word barriers. So I think we have, as I think Leslie and Eileen have touched on a bit, internal barriers. Especially being a woman who's neurodivergent and also has hidden disabilities and disorders. Um, and I know a lot of women are, I guess, it could be anybody, but especially women like ourselves. There's a lot of internal barriers that we have in life in general. There's a lot of internal barriers. There's a lot of barriers that are placed on us maybe by health professionals, by family members. And if we're in a business or trying to start a business, there is a whole additional dynamic of barriers that's placed on us by the business, in the business landscape, across institutional landscapes, and of course in society as a whole. So for me, it's overcoming those barriers. It's not pretending that those barriers don't exist, because we do have some high ass hurdles that we have to jump, but it's being able to say, yes, I might not clear all of them, and that's okay as long as I attempt to jump. And I think it's that attempting part that's really, really, really crucial and really, really key. Yes, we want to set obtainable goals to some extent, but it's having that, I guess, just that gumption to some extent, or that drive, whatever you want to call it, that kind of energy in us that we just have to say. And sometimes we need, a little kick, to kind of kickstart that, as we all do, but just to be able to say, I'm going to jump those hurdles. I'm going to try and leap over those barriers, and I'm not going to let myself, right? Or especially outside, influences put barriers up and tell me what the hell I can jump and what I can't. Because we are really the only ones at the end of the day who define that. We might not win every battle, we might not clear every hurdle, but we have to make that decision. Are we going to jump, or are we not? So for me, it's approaching 2022, and hopefully anyone who's watching this approaching 2022 going, we are going to jump those hurdles. Yes, ladies, repeat after me. We are going to jump. And yes, and I like the hand claps. I'm getting passionate when the hand claps are coming out. If you've seen any of my lives, go, here come the hand claps. Watch out. So, but that's, I think that's really, really
Get
key.
those pumas on and jump.
Exactly. And we have to, motivation, there is external motivation, but external motivation only does so much. We have to have that internal motivation as well. And if we don't have that, we don't kickstart that, we don't, have that internal drive, it is very hard. And I don't expect anybody to have it 24/7. I don't have it 24/7, and that's okay. We can have our moments, we can give ourselves space and go, look, that's all right, I'm having a crappy day, or maybe even not the best, most productive, most, full of gumption sort of motivational week. But as a whole, we have to be able to motivate ourselves and say, I want to jump, and making that decision that other people aren't going to hold us back, especially. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. Nicole, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think for me, in regards to limitless possibilities in 2022, is I want I guess I want to challenge you to fail as many times as you can in 2022. And the reasoning why is because I want you to look at failures, your struggles, as conquers, because it is really in those failures where you not just come to the realization of stepping into your own and who you are and how you work, along with strategies and different things that you can set. But by learning through the failure, it actually helps you become unstoppable, but it helps you grow in your business and in your life, in so many different areas. And so, for me, I used to be terrified of failing. I used to see that as if I failed, then I was worthless and I was unlovable and I wasn't committed enough, or I wasn't determined enough. I would stay stuck and paralyzed within my life and in my business when I had those failures, because I was looking at it wrong. And when you flip that mindset and you look at your failures as strengths and ways to cause and adjust and ways to reflect on, it actually will just make you stronger and become more unstoppable in 2022. And so that's what I want to share in regards to limitless possibilities.
So we're doing really good on time. I had asked each of us to just stay within the 2 minutes because we're on a tight schedule today. Today is, I don't know if there's a thing called Manic Wednesday, but if there was, this is the day. So we have a lot to do. But I think when I think of limitless possibilities, I'm most connected with what Jennifer said, in the sense of, especially when she said medical professionals put limitations on you. And I identify with that because with my story, being diagnosed with the craziest blood cancer and knowing that there's no cure, and then putting a list of limitations on my every being. And I had to really focus on not accepting any one of those limits that they put me. And I really had to dig deep and have some real honest conversations with myself and say, okay, so this is happening. Obviously, I can't control the diagnosis, but I can definitely control how I live my life from this point forward. And so I felt like someone who was shackled. That's how it felt when they told me that I was incurable, that I had a certain amount of time. And, I'm a young woman. I have kids, I have grandkids, I have a husband. And I felt like I was just shackled and I had no limits, no way to reach out. And once I really understood that the mindset is such an important factor when people are putting limits on us, or when we have those limiting beliefs that we put on ourselves, I just pictured myself breaking out of those shackles, just ripping them off and throwing them away forever. And I took that leap, that first step. And one of my things that I had to do was I had to test the barriers. I had to find out for myself, can I really do these things that they're telling me I can't do? And it's so simplistic in the sense of, like, they told me, oh, you can't roller skate, you can't ice skate, you could break bones, this, that, and the other. And so what does Hannah do? She goes to the ice skating rink and she gets out there with one of those little, things that you have to hold on to, because I've never ice skated in my life. I was afraid because, of course, if I fall, number one, it's going to hurt. Number two, I don't know if I'm going to get back up. But I didn't care. I had to see if I could do it. And I know that's a simple way to explain it. But even getting in an airplane, I was deathly afraid of getting in an airplane. And doctors saying you shouldn't fly, it's not safe, people, germs, cooties, COVID, etc. And where was Hannah? She was up in an airplane. So then we get to this part of becoming entrepreneurs, becoming authors, becoming speakers, podcast hosts, etc. And everybody kept saying, oh, it's not going to work. You can't do it. You don't have the education for it. And I'm like, I feel like Wonder Woman, just whack, whack. Like, I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to your limiting beliefs for me. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give it my best and I'm going to kick ass doing it. And if I fail, then I get back up again. That's what we do. That's what this is about. That's what the book is about. That's what life should be about, is like when Nicole said, embrace your failures. Okay, you failed. So you learn something. You don't talk yourself out of ever doing it again. You learn something and you try it differently. So for me, limitless possibilities in 2022. I know in terms of like the She Rises business, crazy, amazing opportunities are coming. But on the personal side for me, like I'm going to fly to the Netherlands and go visit my heritage. I'm going to take those trips with my, I call them my babies, even though my oldest is 30, and my grandbabies. I'm going to live my life without limits. And that is what limitless is if you're afraid, do it anyway. That's limitless. If you're afraid to start that business, do it anyway. What's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? You know, if you're afraid to ask a question because you're afraid of hearing no, they say no, so what? Go ask somebody else that question. You know, if you've been trying some yo-yo diet and it doesn't work for you, try another one. You know, there's so many examples that I could give, but limitless, I always say the sky is not the limit. We're the limit. We put the limits on ourselves. So my message to all the women out there listening to what we're talking about today is stop putting limitations on yourself and those around you. Do not be that person that is the discourager in the room. When somebody comes to you and they say, hey, you know what? I really want to try this. Yes. Give them that support. Show them. Maybe you've done it so you can help them do whatever it is they're trying to do. So when I think of limitless possibilities in 2022, the sky is definitely not the limit. And I know for me and my family, my business, we're going global. And I'm excited to do so. So that's mine. I think I would love to hear more from each one of you. If you guys can give another 2-minute, we're warmed up. I think we still have 15 minutes. So I want to circle back around. Leslie, let's hear some more from you.
So awesome. I loved hearing from all of you ladies. You have such grace about you and the shares that you've provided for the women who are listening. This is real women, and we're letting you know that life is possible for you if you just dream about it. And I love that, Aileen, that you talked about dreaming. That's one of the things that I wanted to bring you through, just a real quick visualization. I want to take you back in time to when you were a baby, and you might not remember this, of course, because again, our perceptions of things really only started to grow as we started to become really super curious. But as a baby, when you were being held by your parents and they walked you around and you were in awe because you were up here in this amazing place where you were moving around, but it was not you doing it, it was your parents. But you watched them as they walked around and you thought, wow, this is great. Look at them. How can they do that? Maybe you had brothers and sisters, the same thing, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is something that I want for me. So what did you do? You started to crawl. And you took your crawling to a whole new level because you started to get into things that mom and dad perhaps maybe didn't want you to do, but you still did it. Why? Because you were very curious about the world around you. And then you thought, well, darn it, I want to be able to do what they do. I'm going to learn how. I don't know what that looks like, but this is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to hold on to something and I'm going to stand because mom and dad showed me that it's possible that these little legs of mine can hold me. And so now I'm standing. Wow, look at me on my own. And now I'm going to take my very first step. Wow. And you become so amazed, the grin on your face. You fell. Did you stop? No, you did not. Because what you did was you got back up because you were amazed that you could do this. You took a step. You started and you allowed yourself to get curious even more. What if I made it to the other side of the room? What if I made it to mom or dad's open arms waiting for me to get there? Because you were curious, you were excited, you wanted to know more. And as Hannah said, the sky was not the limit. In your mind, you were limitless because you believed that you could make it from where you were into mommy and daddy's arms if you just took one more step. That's what limitless possibilities is all about. It's taking that first step into the unknown and allowing yourself to fall and get back up. It's okay. And surround yourself with women who will support you in this community of She Rises, where we are all taking care of each other, banding together and supporting each other. So if that is you, remember, you started somewhere where you started to dream. And as you got older, you started to really dream big. Remember the child within you and dream again. She is there and she's waiting for you to tap into her. So that is my share for today. I wish you all the best success ever in 2022 and beyond. And remember, this community is a place for you to reach out for support. You need help getting there. We are here at your fingertips. Just reach out.
So, Leslie, is there one particular goal that you are just going to knock out of the ballpark in 2022? Can you share that with us? Is there just something that you've just wanted to happen for so long, and 2022 is going to be the year that you get it?
Yeah. Wow. So for me, I have a lot of dreams, a lot of big goals, and I have to look at them realistically where they fit within my life right now. I always believe that come from where you are, start from where you are. You can dream big, and it's not to say that those things won't become your reality. But for me, one of the opportunities that's come to me is through a law firm that reached out to me to help them create this culture within the firm for their employees to stay, that want to stay. And I realized that it's not just about the employees doing the work, it comes from the top down. And I created something a couple of years ago based around my tenure into the 39 years in the legal industry. And so my dream for 2022, just in that area, is to bring this to fruition, this program, and reach out to all of my contacts that I've made over my 39 years and bring this into the industry, bring it into these law firms to create this culture that will empower, especially the women who feel maybe that they're not empowered, the women lawyers, the women admins, the paralegals, all of them. And I want to be able to bring that to these corporations. And it started because this is what happened for me. I believed that I could. And because I believed that I could embrace all parts of me, is when the doors started opening, the windows started opening, people came knocking on my door. So that's my goal for 2020. One of my goals for 2022. There are others, but that is one of the biggest.
Well, I know you will definitely achieve that. I have no doubt. And I'm very excited to hear more about that. All right, Eileen, what do you have to say? Chime in.
Leslie was talking about women lawyers. For a long time, that was what I was. I was a lawyer and a law professor. And I felt pigeonholed at some point. None of us here are one dimensional stock characters. We are not black or white only. And I didn't want to just be a lawyer, even though I like being logical most of the time. But I'm sharing this because it was my dream to not just be a lawyer. And now that's what I'm trying to live out. So I want to be the voice of some form of groundedness for tonight, hopefully for some of those listening. Yes, I believe in dreams, I believe in miracles, but how do we put that into reality? For me, in my own case, I made space and I am still making space for what I truly want in life. And that means letting go of what no longer fits where we are. For me, it means letting go of a full time, steady university job, turning it into part time so I can have more time to write and to develop my intuitive tarot coaching and spiritual life coaching and giving readings. So, for you listeners, viewers, friends, it might be different, but it's analogous. Find how you can make space in your own lives to live your dream, to create miracles, to attract all the beautiful things that the world, that spirit, that God can give you. And for me, living the dream, limitless possibilities in 2022 means being totally at peace with my decision to let go of a regular gig, a regular job, taking the risk, the plunge into something uncertain, but enjoying every step of the way, every bruise, every struggle, and all the more every sweet success, even the very little ones. So I'm a little nervous and apprehensive, honestly, but I'm also very excited. I have
Mhm.
butterflies in my stomach, and that's needed because when you no longer have butterflies, you're so, complacent. Then maybe that's no
Mm.
longer your dream. Maybe you've already reached the pinnacle and you need to dream a new dream and take new risks and new leaps. So I hope at least one person who's watching gets to, be more inspired, even if we're both apprehensive and excited at the same time about our own paths.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I'm excited to see what 2022 has in store for you. I think it's going to be amazing. Definitely. What about you, Jen? What's what's happening over there in the Northern Ireland?
And this sort of sunny. I'm getting like these blinding rays of sun where you get like this white spot and then it's kind of hides again. Um, yeah, tons. Sure, there is tons of stuff that's going to be happening this year. I think for me though, it's in general sort of the two key things, and one, and it's ironically the way that the world works and the way that energy, draws in sort of like energy, and one of my sort of core messages I guess you could say was leading without limits, which is so similar to Hannah's, and for me though it's quite literal, and I 100% don't necessarily say I have to be, I'm not like not necessarily that I'm at the pinnacle of Lady Rebel Club or with women like myself, and everybody needs to be like me. That's not at all what I mean by that, but just that if I want to try to empower and inspire and encourage and support other women like myself to go and do the hard shit, guess what? I have to also do that. So for me,
Yeah.
that's going right. What's one of the scariest things I can do? Doing big talks, going into rooms filled with people, big rooms with people, and networking scares the life out of me. Not really my thing, but those are big goals that I will be achieving this year, COVID or no COVID. So for me, and personally, that's something that I feel that I have to do. Business wise as well, it's obviously leading off from that. And I really want to reach 20,000 women this year. Now, that a
Ooh.
lot maybe through the She Rises group, it may be Lady Rebel Club. That's, the aim is to sort of grow our community to that level. We want to 10 times that this year. We want to be able to reach a lot more women, to bring a lot more women in from my area, also from more diverse backgrounds, who have, and ironically, a lot of us do, about 70% or more women entrepreneurs have some kind of chronic illness or disability or hidden disability or are neurodivergent. It's time to speak up and claim our space, lady. We do not need to hide. We do not need to feel like we can't talk about it. They're not weaknesses,
That's
we
right.
need to use the things that a lot of people view as a negative, use it as our superpower, use it as our strength, and kick ass with it and knock it out of the park. So that's what I want to do, is to reach 20,000 women this year, to encourage them, to support them, to inspire them, to just have that confidence within themselves, that they can flip that switch and flip that narrative and see what, like I said, a lot of people would see as deficits, and they might even see as deficits in a lot of way. That doesn't mean everything's rosy all the time. We have crap days. We have, like I said, all of this. It's not saying I'm positive 100% of the time, right? as we know, Anna. But it is going right. I write my own story, and that's what we're going to do. So yeah, that's my goals. Just small, slight world domination, no big deal.
I love it. I love it. I love it all because we like each one of you have shared so many amazing tips already, and sharing like what you see happening for yourselves in 2022. I'm holding each one of you to it. Like I'm gonna check in and Jen, since you're so terrified of going out and networking and speaking on camera and all that, we're gonna make sure to set up a lot of interviews for you. Because that's how you got to get
Yeah,
past it.
stepped in that
You
one,
just,
didn't I?
yeah, I'm gonna put you and Adriana out there together.
Woo! Well, I'm doing
So-
great with my live. Like I'm fine doing live video, and like this kind of thing now doesn't annoy me in the slightest. It's walking probably into the strange,
Oh yeah,
the crowded
you're gonna be
rooms or things of that
amazing.
nature, or doing a live interview and things like that would be much more, apprehensive
They're
about.
so
But
fun. You're gonna love it.
You're gonna do great.
I mean,
What about you,
my biggest fear is sitting on the sofa eating chocolate cake for 10 hours straight. Yeah, that's right. I would hate for that to happen.
Well, just to chime in for a sec, Jennifer, I'm going to be reaching out to you to interview you in my Facebook group. So
there
we're going
we
to
go.
get you out there. So yes, you are so amazing on camera. So I know that we tend to be in our own head thinking, oh, do I look okay? Do I sound okay? You're awesome. So yeah.
Oh, that's very nice, Leslie. Thanks very much.
Nicole.
Yes, darling.
What you got?
Yeah, so I was just sitting here listening to all of you wonderful, amazing women share from your heart and just, to serve. I think for me, it's, I have a lot of goals, personally as well as in business. But I think for me, it's just allowing myself to step into myself completely and more deeply, I guess, is the only way I can explain it. I've been on this journey of just being me and allowing that to be enough in life and business. And it's definitely has had its ups and downs, but it's definitely has also shown me that life is lived so much more beautifully when you do it by just being you and not feeling like you have to be like somebody else, that you have to do what they're doing, that you have to structure things the way that they structure it. For me as a coach, where I came from, I looked so much of the outer world of how to be me and how to do me in business. And what it does is it just compacts you and puts you in this box, while the inside of you is just screaming out because it actually wants to lead you and you're not allowing it to. And so this journey that I'm on of just being comfortable with myself and being imperfect and being messy and everything that I do, and just allowing that to be okay, has just really been something that I want to take into 2022 and just dive more into. And I'm not where I want to be yet. And I don't ever honestly want to get there, because I always want to continue growing and changing and evolving in my life, as well as in business. So I guess one of my, I have lots of goals for 2022, but I'm enjoying the ride of just serving as many women in life or business and meeting them where they're at in life or business, and helping them not just be educated and empowered, inspired to feel loved, to know that they're valuable and worthy, but also to help them in business to be seen and heard worldwide and help grow their business, be seen in their business, build up their brand, be profitable, spread the wealth, give, serve in communities nationally, worldwide, whatever that looks like. And just to be in that. And even if it's just changing one life, either, personally or in business, I mean, that's the whole journey. That's the point. So yeah, I just want to touch and help serve as many women in this world as possible. And sometimes it just takes one at a time. So that's my goal.
That's amazing. And the cool thing is I get to work side by side with you. So
right back at you, girl.
It's pretty awesome to hear what you're sharing, because I know you will do it. I have no doubt. And that's what, and being able to be alongside of that and actually see that happen and come to fruition is going to be an amazing thing for
Yeah, it's
sure.
going to be awesome.
I think all of you ladies have such incredible things ahead. Like Nicole and I were talking yesterday, and we're like, we feel this wave of amazing, infinite possibilities that are just going to come whoosh, and not in the sense of like where we're all going to be drowning. It's like we're going to be riding this wave together, and I'm really excited. And I don't even think it has to do with the fact that, new year, new you. I mean, yeah, it matters, but it's just the exponential growth that I've seen since we started the movement, and just all the different things that like are coming about. Like when I first met Leslie was like really quiet. Leslie was a writer, right? But now Leslie is speaking. Like she jumps on and she's like, "Hey, I'm Leslie, hear me roar." Like she's conducting interviews in her group. Like she's grown so much. And then like I remember the first time I talked to Jen, and I found her hilarious since day one. I don't know, just something connected, and she uses the word shite. and and I just love the fact that, she comes without a filter. I appreciate the rawness and no filter. And like with Eileen is so humble. She's so humble and so beautiful and so kind. And it's just crazy how all these different characteristics, all these different women's personalities, we just meshed. And trust me when I tell you, we probably, I'm sure we were like, we get like we're sisters, right? So of course we have these little, but that's a part of the BA movement. That's a part of what we're doing. Like we have these little, I don't even want to say disagreements, because they're not. It's just like, hey, here's my opinion, take it or leave it. And we speak in truth. We don't like to sugarcoat stuff. And that's what makes, I think, this movement work. I think that's what's formed this sisterhood and kept it so strong. Because think about trying to collaborate with 25 women, different cultures, different parts of the world, trying to spread, goodness, positivity, that's hard, I think, personally, because women are very emotional. We can be catty at times. And most, we were all taught by society's ways to compete against one another. And all of us, I feel like we left that competitiveness. We took off that we shed it off and started to just, work together. And I'm excited to see what 2022 has for us as a, movement, sisterhood, with the book series. We have 6 for Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. But one of my goals that I really am pushing forward to, and I don't share this with many people, is I really want to have a retreat center in Montana. And I want it to be solely focused on women, and them being able to come and just breathe. I want them to experience peace. I want them to experience love. I want them to take time to be able to say, I need to disconnect. So we're not going to have cell phones. We're not going to, I just want these women who have experienced hardships to know that there's going to be a center for them to come to, and we're going to take care of them, and we're going to build them up, and we're going to send them back out into the world to kick ass. So that's my goal. That's my goal for 2022. I've been eyeing a property on Foy's Lake, and I just, and guess what? The best part too, like I have 25 women from Becoming an Unstoppable Woman who can come there and work with these women and coach these women and pour into these women. And that is amazing. So that's my goal for 2022. And personally, my second goal is to get as healthy as possible. I just refuse to be boggled down with this yucky cancer. I can't do it. So cancer be gone. That's my personal goal. So thank you so much, all of you. I think that we have just a few minutes to say goodbye. You know, look up these ladies on their social media platforms, find them, connect with them. They're amazing women. Get the book. If you haven't gotten the book, get the book. It's you can get it. They each have their own landing page. They each are so accessible to you. They really are. And if you're in the Philippines, you need to connect with Aileen. If you're in Mexico, you need to connect with Leslie. If you're in the UK, Northern Ireland, you got to get with Jen. You know, if you're in Michigan, Nicole is right there. I'm in Las Vegas, but all in all, there's a way to connect with every single one of us. And you know, we each have so much to give to you ladies to celebrate you. We want to celebrate with you. You know, that's part of the movement too, is just being able to celebrate your wins. Your, you know, we talk about that a lot, like celebrating the littlest of things is so important. And, you know, this is what 2022 is going to be. It's going to be the year of celebration. I already know. I already feel it. I already know. I have no questions. So thank you ladies so much for being with us today. Nicole, I don't know if you want to close this out, but it was so good to see you ladies.
Yeah.
It was, I love you guys. And, you know,
thanks, ladies, for showing up, being here, serving, sharing all the lovely advice, and just, you know, being just raw and real, and just, you know, having that honesty and vulnerability. I think that's so well needed, especially in business. And so I appreciate you guys sharing and just being intimate with that, of where your hearts are at. And I'm so excited to see all of your goals come in fruition for the 2022 year. And we will be back with our virtual book tour on Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what it is, all your time zones, because everyone's all over the place. I'm not even going to try to do that. I don't need that golden sticker. That's going to be too hard. That's going to hurt my brain. Do you not know all these
time zones by heart? Come on.
No. I will soon, someday. Someday I will, probably. But thank you so much to the audience, for the ladies joining us, taking your time out this morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, just to come in here to listen. We love and appreciate all of you, and we will be back on Friday. So with that, I hope you have a blessed, wonderful, amazing Wednesday.
Yes. And it was so good to see you ladies. See you Friday.
Bye.